Good evening and welcome to the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. First, the headlines. Akwa Ibom State lawmaker panic over sea pirates attack. Enugu State government advises residents to ignore sit-at-home order. Primate Ayodele explains why APC must appoint Tanko. Niger Delta Group wants Melakiri sacked over hardship. ECOWAS youth cancels 6 for inclusion in regional agenda. Comedian Sydney Talker meets Hilda Basi. Adefemi plans to sign new contract at Rivers United. Thank you for joining us on the Global News tonight. Here is our bulletin in full. Dr. Emmanuel Onyeka, a lecturer in the Captain Alechi Amadi Polytechnic, while speaking on ATN Society Watch, faults government officials who demolish buildings of citizens with illegal building approval. He asked the government to stop fraudulent officials who grant illegal approvals in the first place.
Calling illegal approval.
Right.
He has not come to tell us the meaning of illegal approval. And then demolition of people's houses built over the years. And in this economy, these are human beings like you are. What is the point? Is that the way to solve the flood problem? It's not going to solve it. By the time you demolish people's houses, it's going to cure flood issues. The answer is no. Because people have been demolishing all this while we still have flood, even in the places where the demolitions have taken place. So it should be investigated if it's not political vendetta.
Dr. Weke averred that the Netherlands and Finland, amongst others, are below the sea level, yet they are not flooded, and that whatever can be redirected by experts, not politicians.
And talk about how to contact countries that are doing well, living below the water belt. Talk about Finland, talk about Netherlands, Iceland, all those countries live below water level. And you know what that means. They already, you are not talking about flood, they are talking about being submerged. But these people don't have flood. They have managed their terrain very efficiently over the years. We had expected that by now we would have had international cooperation. Instead of doing what they call palliative, what we should be doing is money. Making money from what they are calling disaster. Right. Because if you bring these people that reason incrementally.
Lawmaker representing Ikot Abasi East and Obolo State constituency, Mrs. Salina Obatu, has raised alarm over the activities of sea pirates, which have crippled maritime activities within the coastal water, spreading across not fewer than 10 local government areas of Akwa Ibom State. Presenting the case before the 26-member assembly, the lawmaker lamented that the sea criminals have wrecked people's businesses, including killings and seizure of over 50 outboard engines valued at 3 million each in the last couple of years, while stressing that the need for intensification of security measures to safeguard and protect lives, properties, and businesses of coastal dwellers, maritime workers, and travelers. The lawmaker also said many people who depend on maritime businesses have been thrown out of jobs for fear of being killed by the sea marauders. She listed the affected LGS to include Istanbul, Ikot, Abasi, Mkpat Enin, Ibeno, Mbo, Oron, Udong, Uko, Uran, Itu, and Okobo, lamenting that they are ravaged frequently by sea pirates who lay siege to the affected areas, abduct fishermen, plunder their wealth, thereby killing their major source of livelihood. She called on Governor Umar Basi Eno to strengthen and expand the existing patrol teams to effectively cover all coastal areas in the affected communities. The acting general manager of Umuahia Capital Development Authority, Mrs. Kano Chinyere Kano, has warned owners and occupants of shanties littered in parts of Umuahia, the Abia State capital, to remove them immediately. She gave the warning while speaking about the plans of her office to rid the capital of shanties and other illegal structures, and advised those living or using the shanties to remove them and vacate such places immediately, as officials of the agency would soon embark on the demolition of unapproved structures. Mrs. Kano, who warned that her office would not listen to any plea during the planned demolition exercise, has said final warnings would be distributed to owners and occupants of the structures before they are eventually pulled down, while expressing dismay at the rate at which some persons desecrated the aesthetics of Umuahia through the erection of unapproved structures. In a related development, the agency acting GM has assured the Nigerian Institute of Architects members of her agency's readiness to partner with them in maintaining orderly development in Umuahia. The gubernatorial candidate of the New Nigeria's People Party, NNPP, in the November 11, 2023 poll, Mr. Uche Ben Odunze, has blamed the increasing insecurity in Imo State on the alleged neglect of youths by Governor Hope Uzodinma. A statement by his media office, Mr. Joshua Elekwachi, shortly after receiving a mammoth crowd of youths at the Simon Bakwe Cargo Airport in Imo State, expressed dismay over the rising insecurity in the state and attributed it to the failure of the governor to address the needs of the youth population. Odunze said that the lack of essential amenities and the lack of employment opportunities for the youth contributed to the rise in crime and unrest. He advocated for a comprehensive approach to tackle menace and vowed to prioritize youth empowerment while urging the government to invest in education and skills development, saying it would provide the youth with proper opportunities to become more productive members of the society. The Vice-Chancellor, Godfrey Okoye University, Enugu State, Reverend Father Professor Christed Anike, has identified job creation and employment opportunities as panacea to brain drain in Nigeria. Anike also said brain drain was damaging the country's economy and advised that the only way to stem the tide was for the government to create employment opportunities and better working conditions. The Vice-Chancellor said investigations revealed that job creation and employment opportunities in Africa remain the solution to stem the tide of migration, which is called Japa in Nigeria, and the tendency to move away. He further urged the graduating students to brace up for challenges, adding that graduates were products of perseverance, dedication, and hard work. The Enugu State government advised residents to ignore the sit-at-home order by the faction of members of the indigenous people of Biafra. The state government urged residents to go about their regular activities on Monday and has directed that people should resume their normal activities on Monday and warned the civil servants, schools, markets, and others not to observe the illegal order by IPOB. The Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidi Bere Onya, issued this directive in a statement he signed in Enugu State, stressing that the Enugu State Government wishes to remind the good people and residents of the state that the ban on the illegal Monday sit-at-home order remains effective. Onya also mentioned that the state government had reaffirmed its commitment to penalizing individuals or groups that do not comply with the government's cancellation of the legal order, while extending the same warning of sanctions against schools, financial institutions, shopping malls, department stores, business premises, and others that may defy its directive. Onya stressed that the sit-at-home order was illegal and not in line with the Igbo cultural values of hard work, productivity, and creativity, and urged the public to carry out their normal activities on Monday as adequate security measures have been put in place to ensure the safety of lives and properties. Guards of the Nigeria Air Force who were on duty at the headquarters NADC gate caught a cable thief along the airport road by the NADC perimeter fence in Lagos State. 3 thieves were sighted digging the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria's underground armored cable with a digger, shovel, and cutlass, and on sighting the guards, they ran from the scene while a guard, however, opened fire on them, aiming at the shoulder of one of the thieves, who was later identified as Usman Musa. In a statement signed by FAN's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Abdullahi Yakubu Funtua, he said Usman Musa, 28 years old, a native of Adamawa State, residing at Ijora, sustained gunshot wounds and was subsequently arrested and taken to 66 NAF headquarters in Ikeja and receiving treatment at General Hospital Oyingbo, while his other 2 accomplices escaped. Torrential rainfall has rendered hundreds of residents of Ido local government area in Oyo State homeless, while property worth millions of naira were also lost to the flood. Eyewitness said shops, vehicles, and buildings worth millions of naira at Omi Adio market were affected, while farmlands and fish ponds were also washed away by the torrential downpour. While one of the affected farmers has 80 fish farms affected, he lamented that he invested over 10 million naira into his fish farming, all of which were lost to the flood. A trader who was also affected, Alaja Alimot Adeleke, appealed to well-meaning Nigerians to assist the victims, claiming she lost bags of gari, bags of cassava flours, and other foodstuff as a result of the flood, adding that she used to the shop to raise her 3 children after the demise of her husband. A gang of 10 secondary school students in Ogun State have allegedly attacked one of their teachers who prevented them from cheating during the last third term examination. The student of Isambi Comprehensive High School is Ilasan Remo in Ikenne, local government area of Ogun State, attacked the teacher Kolawole Shonuga while invigilating the unified examination for the SS1 art class students after she had incidentally caught one of the boys, 18-year-old Ashimi Adebanjo, cheating and seized his exam papers. A witness explained that after school hours, the students gathered somewhere and attacked the teacher and beat him up at the school gate. Meanwhile, policemen from the Remo division have arrested a sizable number of the students. Police spokesman Omotola Odutola, who confirmed the incident, alleged assault of Remo Police Division, while confirming the arrest of 10 suspects. The state chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools, Felix Agbesanwa, frowned at the incident, insisting that any student who raises his hand against his teacher should face the wrath of the law. Special advisor to the Governor on Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, also condemned the students' actions with a vow that the state government would not condone acts of indiscipline by learners across the state. The Ondo State government has procured 8 state-of-the-art firefighting equipment to combat the menace of fire outbreaks in the state. The government also said the fire trucks will be deployed across the 3 senatorial districts of the state to ensure efficient coverage. A statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, Richard Olatunde, said the governor had approved the procurement of this modern firefighting equipment as part of his commitment to enhancing the fire services capabilities in handling emergencies within the state. Olatunde also said the decision of the governor to procure the trucks was reached during a meeting in August 2022, where he received Mr. James Olatunji, the zonal commander of the Federal Fire Service overseeing Ondo, Ekiti, and Osun State, while assuring that the government would procure advanced firefighting equipment. According to Olatunde, each of the newly acquired firefighting trucks has a two-row cabin with air conditioning equipped with a WD 615.69 33.6 HP Euro 2 engine and an HW 19710 a transmission with 10 forward gears and 2 reverse gears. 13 people are feared dead after the outbreak of the diphtheria disease in Kaduna State. A breakdown shows 10 people have reportedly died from the disease in Kafanchan, Jama'a local government area of Kaduna State, while 3 children died in Makafi local government area, while 7 others were hospitalized. Confirming the outbreak in Makafi, LGA Health Secretary Malam Aliyu Al-Hassan said the suspected cases occurred at Tasha Nakawu community in Gubuchi ward of the area. The Kaduna State government says it has alerted citizens on the outbreak and directed the Ministry of Health to send an emergency team to investigate cases and take immediate action, while the Chief Epidemiologist of Kaduna State Ministry of Health, Dr. Jeremiah Daiko, has lamented that some communities in the state were rejecting vaccine against anthrax that broke out in some states. Bacterial disease that affects Anthrax is a bacterial disease that affects domestic and wild animals and can infect human beings, especially children who may have had contact with infected animals. He also said findings revealed that 17 people were infected. Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operations Unit Zone B, Kaduna State says the unit intercepted vehicles and other contrabands worth 1 trillion naira between May and July this year. A statement by the command's public relations officer Isa Suleiman said the command recorded 179 seizures within the period under review, and while the customs area controller in charge of the unit, Musa Jallo, said the contrabands were intercepted at different locations in the zone. Jallo also said that illicit drugs were intercepted jointly with Joint Border Patrol team in Kebbi. The Customs Zone B boss has equally warned the perpetrators to desist and engage in illegitimate trade, as the unit had no plans to negotiate the extant laws. The Kaduna State Election Petitions Tribunal has reserved judgment on an alleged academic certificate inconsistencies case instituted against the member representing Onguwan Sanusi constituency of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Alwa Mohammed. The tribunal disclosed this after receiving the final written address from the petitioner and plaintiff. This is coming after candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Honorable Hassan Yao, approached the tribunal seeking the disqualification of Honorable Awal, who was declared winner of the 2023 election under the platform of the APC, alleging that both his primary and secondary school certificates were not authentic. According to him, the certificate tendered by the incumbent House of Assembly member for the 2019 election is different from that of 2023, and for that reason, the court should nullify the victory of Honorable Mohammed and declare him as a duly elected member to represent the constituency council to the first respondent, the Independent National Electoral Commission. Barrister Opeyemi Ajikolo said the tribunal lacks jurisdiction to entertain the case, while adding that the matter should have come up at the State High Court as a pre-election matter, as the law did not assume that the petitioner should go to sleep and come back after the election. Youths in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, have stolen items worth millions of naira, including bags of maize and locally processed rice. Eyewitness said the youths in their large numbers invaded a warehouse not far from the 6th Army Brigade and looted all the valuables. Dr. Jugude, a former member of the State House of Assembly and immediate past chairman of Sardauna local government area of the state, hundreds of bags of maize and locally processed rice as well as agricultural inputs including fertilizer and pesticide, while 2 persons died in the process. He further said the same warehouse was looted during the NSAS protest in 2020 with items worth millions of naira stolen. Police Public Relations Officer of the Taraba State Command, when contacted, stated that he was trying to get details of the incident. Suspected gunmen have killed Ibrahim Abdullahi, also known as Solo, in Kankia local government area of Katsina State. The incident was confirmed by the spokesman of the Katsina State Police Command, ASP Abubakar Aliyu, adding that investigation has started on the incident which took place in a low-cost residential estate near the Kankia General Hospital. Eyewitness said the gunmen rode to the estate on motorcycles and shot Ibrahim Abdullahi when he questioned them, and after the shooting, he was left in a pool of blood. The incident caused panic among traders, residents, and passers-by on the Katsina-Kanu highway, while residents of the area are appealing to security agencies to protect their lives and properties. 4 female students of the Zamfara State College of Arts and Science who were kidnapped by bandits along Benin Magaji Kaura Namoda Road about 6 months ago have appealed to the state government to secure their freedom. In a video released by the abductors shows the kidnapped victims lamenting while their kidnappers threaten to marry them out if their parents or guardians do not pay the 12 million naira demanded as ransom to secure their freedom. According to the video going viral in Gusau, the state capital, the victims also lamented that their abductors have given their families only 1 week to act. This is coming after the victims were abducted in January 2023 along the Benin Magaji Kaura Namoda Road in the state while they were returning from a wedding ceremony. Justice and Peace Advocates Initiative led by Reverend Gideon Paramalam has expressed concern over the condition of internally displaced persons camped in schools and other open places in Plateau State. This is coming after the past 3 months, no fewer than 300 persons had been killed in different Plateau communities in several attacks carried out by gunmen. During such attacks, the gunmen also set several houses on fire, forcing the surviving victims to flee their homes and leaving many communities deserted. While speaking on the matter, a delegation of Gideon and Paramalam Peace Foundation to Mangu LGA said over 18,000 displaced persons were taking refuge in a primary school. Paramalam and described their situation as pathetic. He called on the government to redouble its effort to end the killings to enable the people to return to their ancestral villages, and adding that humanitarian disaster that has befallen the people of Mangu in the form of catastrophic civil disturbances. Dr. Emmanuel Onyeka-Nweke, a lecturer, while speaking on ATN's Sunday, says if Africa focuses on morality just as Europeans concentrate on freedom, therefore homosexuality should be regarded as an abomination.
Do you know that there is gay items in cartoons?
Right.
That children are allowed to watch by parents. You see a male cartoon holding and hugging another male item cartoon, and then saying, "This is what I like. This is what I like." The other female holding the other say, "This is what I like. This is what I like." Children are watching. They grow with it. Parents are not there to censor what they are doing. I'm telling you how these things can creep in.
Leader of INRI Evangelical Spiritual Church, Primate Elijah Ayodele, has identified former governor of Nasarawa State, Senator Tanko Al-Makura, as the best person to become the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress. Now, this is coming after rumors of President Tinubu endorsing former Kano Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje's third reactions on social media. In a statement signed by his media aide, Osho Oluwatosin, Primate Ayodele advised the All Progressive Congress to choose Al-Makura as the next chairman because he is the one whose chairmanship would not plunge the party into crisis. Primate Ayodele recalled that before the ousted chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, was elected, he warned the party to choose Al-Makura, who also contested for the position then, but they didn't listen, claiming that their ignorance of his warning led to the crisis Adamu's reign brought into the party. The prophet made it known that APC has gotten another chance at redemption, and if they don't listen, they will still face repercussions. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break.
Their own intent is freedom. You are free to do what.
Hey, welcome to the StarTimes 35th anniversary celebration. To say thank you to every StarTimes family for being an integral part of our journey, StarTimes has decided to give you a price slash on decoders. Yes, we are slashing the price of our antenna decoder from 8,900 naira to 7,500 naira, and the dish decoder from 13,300 naira to 9,900 naira. But that's not all. Existing subscribers can recharge for 2 months on their current bouquet and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet. And if you recharge on the classic or super bouquet, you'll receive a fantastic reward of extra 15 days of free viewing. You can enjoy our top local and international content. So, what are you waiting for? Quickly, visit any StarTimes outlet around you to recharge or buy your decoder between June 12th to August 31st to enjoy this fabulous offer. Wow! Yay! Let the celebration begin! StarTimes. Entertain your family.
To have you back on ATN Global News. Now to the rest of our stories. The presidency says it has dismissed the alarm raised by the former president Atiku Abubakar over an alleged plot to buy agents of President Bola Tinubu and the All Progressive Congress to intimidate the judiciary to subvert justice in the ongoing challenge to the outcome of the 2023 presidential election at the Presidential Election Petitions Court. In a response issued by Dele Alake, Special Advisor to the President, Special Duties and Communications and Strategy, said the presidency alleged that the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the poll was yet to fully recover from his shock defeat. While accusing him of trying to blackmail the judiciary, the statement asserted that Tinubu would never undermine the judiciary, adding that the former vice president has not fully recovered from the shock of defeat, hence the current attempt to mischievously break up another round of inanities that offend basic logic and rational thinking. He also claimed that Tinubu's lawyers and that of APC have presented very solid defense of the results of the election and assured the judiciary will impartially deliver its ruling on the basis of points of law and evidence before it, not based on presumptuous speculations and unfounded accusations. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio will this week release the names of the ministerial nominees at plenary session. Plenaries at both chambers of the National Assembly are held on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, and there has been serious agitation over the delay of President Bola Tinubu in constituting his cabinet 2 months after his inauguration. According to a new amendment to the 1999 Constitution, the President and governors must submit the names of persons nominated as ministers or commissioners within 60 days of taking the oath of office for confirmation by the Senate or the respective state houses of assembly. Now, this implies that Tinubu and 28 governors must submit the list of nominees for ministers and commissioners before the end of this month, and this week is the last before the deadline for the President to name his minister nominees. And here is the business news on the Global News tonight. South-South Youth Initiative has decried hardship caused by the removal of fuel subsidy across the country and called for sack of Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited GMD Mele Kyari. The group vowed to shut down NNPCL offices if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fails to sack Kyari from office within 7 days. National President of the group, Imabe Saviour, in a statement in Abuja, said the removal of subsidy was sudden and without a concrete plan in place, adding that the group have truly observed the failure of this administration to bring the needed peace and development to our people. The group also said Kyari failed to make justice to his first role of advising the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the right policies to implement and at the right time to do so. The federal government says it will reduce in the coming days the trend of multiple taxes from 52 to 10. Special advisor to the President on Revenue, Zach Adedeji, who disclosed this while speaking on the theme Revenue Challenges and Opportunities in Nigeria Today, stressed that the government is doing everything to promote efficiency and accountability. Adedeji noted that multiple taxation had been a major challenge to investors and businesses in Nigeria, while the government is working seriously to ensure the poor breathe. He also said in the coming days, when the tax committee is constituted, government will ensure that they streamline the taxes to have compliance in Nigeria. The escalating cost of living occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy and the subsequent rise in the pump price of petrol and rising inflation have forced different categories of Nigerians to make adjustments on interstate trips. These are not the best of times in the road transport sector, as commuters are now cutting down on interstate travels except for those that are absolutely necessary and essential, while the commercial motorists who ply interstate roads have been recording low patronage as a consequence are scaling down the number of trips. Checks reveal the decrease in passenger traffic at popular bus terminals and motor parks in different cities across the country, while vehicles that usually get full within an hour take over 4 hours in some cases. This is coming after President Bola Tinubu announced the removal of subsidy on petrol during his inauguration on May 29, 2023, which was followed by a jump in the pump price of the commodity from 185 naira per litre to 500 naira per litre. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has dragged the Central Bank of Nigeria to court over the failure to halt regulation requesting banks to provide their customers with social media handles. SERAP disclosed this in a statement by its Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare. Now, this is coming after after the Apex Bank in June issued a Customer Due Diligence Regulation 2023, directing banks to obtain information on customer social media for identification. SERAP sought the court should compel CBN to withdraw the regulation, adding that CBN already has ample means to verify customers, including bank verification number, tax identification number, driver's license, and passport. SERAP added that implementing the regulation would impede on the rights to freedom of expression and privacy of banks' customers, stressing that CBN regulations and directive to bank and other financial institutions would impermissibly restrict the constitutional and international rights to freedom of expression, privacy, and victims' right to justice and effective remedies. It also said requiring social media handles or addresses of customers as a means of identification would have a a disproportionate chilling effect and effective enjoyment by Nigerians of their rights to freedom of expression and privacy online. Chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Mohammed Shehu, says the commission will do what is best for the country when reviewing the pay for politicians, judges and public officers. This is coming after the commission approved the increment of salaries of political office holders, judicial and public office holders by 114%. According to the commission's report, a federal commissioner in the commission, Rakia Tanko Ayuba, who said the salary increment remark when she represented the chairman Mohammed Shehu at the presentation of the report of the reviewed remuneration package to Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris in Benin, Kebbi. Tanko Ayuba also said the implementation of the reviewed remuneration packages were effective from January 1st, 2023, a claim that had been strongly denied by the Commission Public Relations Officer Christian Wachuku, adding that the move was in accordance with the provision of paragraph 32D of part 1 of the third schedule of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Government as amended. You're still watching the Global News and Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. The ECOWAS Youth Council has urged the new chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, President Bola Tinubu, to make youth inclusion and development part of the sub-regional body's agenda during his tenure. The group also thanked President Tinubu for declaring a commitment to ending coups, maintaining peace and security in West Africa, especially in Francophone countries, as priority issues of the ECOWAS, adding that such steps, if pursued effectively, would ensure stability, peace, and unity in member countries. President of the group, Dr. Oluwaseun William, who disclosed this in Abeokuta during the investiture of Dr. Babatunde Adeyemo as ECOWAS Youth Ambassador, said the place of youth in society as well as nation building and peace in the West African sub-region expressed the readiness of the Youth Council to engage President Tinubu on how to ensure youth inclusion in the governance of ECOWAS. Adeyemo also bagged the group's Nelson Mandela Leadership for Excellence and Integrity Award at the event. Military government in Mali has adopted a new constitution that enhances the powers of the president and the armed forces. It also creates a senate and demotes French from an official to a working language, while Mali has been ruled by a junta since 2020. The opposition movement has denounced the reforms, which the Electoral Commission says were backed by 97% of votes cast in last month's referendum. Critics fear these changes make it easier for generals to break their promise of handing power back to civilian leaders after a presidential election in February 2024, while the new constitution means the interim president Colonel Assimi Goita that can now dictate government policy and has the power to dissolve parliament. There is a legal case to have the referendum result annulled because the vote was not held in all parts of Mali and was rejected by the constitutional courts. Report says 11 people are feared dead after a man was arrested in Mexico on suspicion of setting fire to a bar. The attack happened in San Luis Rio, Colorado, which borders the United States, and the bar sits just one street away from the border. Eyewitnesses say a drunk young man hurled a Molotov cocktail at the beer house bar after being thrown out. The mayor of San Luis Rio, Colorado, tweeted that the suspect had been arrested and has not yet been named. And here is entertainment news for tonight. Popular Nigerian skit maker Sydney Egere, best known as Sydney Talker, has taken to social media to appreciate Guinness World Record holder Hilda Basi for agreeing to work with him on a project that has garnered major traction across top social media platforms. The comedian, in his appreciation posts on Instagram on July 22nd, thanked Basi for allowing him to create a masterpiece with her, a masterpiece that has become his biggest ever. Sharing his statistics on how the video, titled "When She's a Good Cook," has done on some social media platforms since its release, Sydney wrote, "This is to bring to your attention that the video I made with Hilda is now the biggest video I've ever created." Sensational Nigerian singer Ikuforoji Olaitan Abdulrahman, popularly known as Oxlade, has shared his experience on songs he wishes to sing. The 26-year-old said he wishes he sang You Be You by Omale and King by Fireboy. Ghanaian-American singer Ama Sewa Genfi, better known as Amarai, has asserted that Black Bones is the best rap artist. She also expressed her admiration for other Nigerian rappers such as Psycho YP and Ladipo. Amare further said she loves Psycho YP's movement like such a hustler and really respects his music and brand. And here is the sports news for tonight. Lukman Adefemi says he is ready to extend his stay at Nigeria Professional Football League side Rivers United. Adefemi has been a subject of interest from Remo Stars ahead of the 2023-2024 season, where Rivers United are planning to present a new improved offer for the powerful forward. He is expected to sign the contract extension later this week. The striker would compete with Nyima Wagua in Rivers United's attack, while Adefemi scored once for Rivers United in the NPFL Super 6 playoffs in Lagos State. The former Arsenal striker Paul Merson has applauded Chelsea's Mykhailo Mudryk after the Ukrainian winger scored his first goal for the club. The former Shakhtar Donetsk winger scored for the Blues in their thrilling 4-3 win against Brighton. The winger moved to Stamford Bridge in January in an 8-year contract from Shakhtar Donetsk and failed to impress in the few games he played before the end of the season. However, Mudryk's fortunes changed during Mauricio Pochettino's side clash against Brighton in the summer series. The two teams clashed during the pre-season tournament of friendly in the United States. Mudryk brilliantly scored his first goal for the Blues after being teed up by Nicholas Jackson in the 65th minute. Al Nassr superstar Cristiano Ronaldo has assured the club will win all 4 competitions they will play in next season. The Portugal international is desperate to lead the club to glory in the upcoming season. Al Nassr led the SPL table when the Portugal captain joined them in December last season. The Miso Park outfit eventually fell behind Al Ittihad and lost the crown by 5 points. The former Manchester United, Real Madrid and Juventus superstar has vowed that he will do everything he can to help the Riyadh-based club win many trophies. About 5 clubs have accepted to sign Kylian Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain. According to Marca, they are Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Chelsea, Al Hilal, and Real Madrid. Mbappe has been left out of PSG's pre-season tour of Asia and is up for sale, while the League One champions are ready to cash in on the 24-year-old who will be out of contract in June 2024. PSG are not ready to lose Mbappe as a free agent and will rather get rid of him for some money this summer, while Real Madrid are widely seen as Mbappe's likeliest destination amid rumors that the France forward has already agreed terms with the La Liga giants. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Akwa Ibom State lawmaker panic over sea pirates attack. Enugu State government advises residents to ignore sit-at-home order. Prime Minister Ayodele explains why APC must appoint Tanko. Niger Delta groups want Mele Kyari sacked over hardship. ECOWAS Youth Council seeks for inclusion in regional agenda. Comedian Sydney Tolka meets Hilda Bassi. Adefemi plans to sign new contract at Rivers United. I'm Vivian Douglas. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms. On Twitter, we are Atlantic TV Net. On Facebook and YouTube, we're Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, we're Atlantic TV Network 1. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Have a good night.